Hi guys, it's Marie from Grow with Green. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about how to keep your plants in tip-top condition. All plants need light, air, water and nutrients. This video will focus on watering your plants. Did you know that the biggest killer of indoor plants is overwatering? Hopefully this video will give you some tips and tricks on preventing this with your plants. The first thing to consider is, what is your plant's natural habitat? Does it originate from the tropics, like a begonia or an alocasia, or is it more of a desert-like plant, like your African milk tree, or a string of beads, or even a ZZ plant? The plants that originate from a desert-type habitat will need less water, and the tropical guys will obviously need a lot more water. Let's look at the different types of water that's available for your plants. The first and most obvious one is tap water. Tap water is easily accessible and it is very affordable. The one problem with tap water is that it contains chlorine. This is quite easily overcome by letting the water stand for 24 hours. This will cause the chlorine to evaporate out of the water. You can then give it to your plants. It is best not to boil tap water, because this hardens the metal in the water. The second option is bottled or distilled water. Although this is a bit more of an expensive option and it's also not very environmentally friendly, sometimes we do need to give our plants distilled water, like for example our calatheas. They definitely prefer distilled or bottled water. To reduce your effect on landfill, it's always a good idea to go and buy your water in bulk from your water supplier, and you can then just fill up your container. The best alternative remains rainwater. You can just put some buckets out in the rain the next time you've got a good shower. You can always take your plants outside as well when there's a bit of a drizzle for them to soak up the fresh rainwater. Remember to use fresh rainwater, since rainwater that stands for a while does cause some sediment to drop at the bottom, which could have an effect on your plants. If you live in an area that is prone to acid rain, also rather refrain from using rainwater. It's very, very important to ensure that you do not use cold water on your plants. Always ensure that the water is room temperature or tepid. Cold water will definitely cause your plants to go into shock, and the roots do not like cold water. So how regularly should you water your plants? It's good to have a watering regime to ensure that you check on your plants on a regular basis, but it's most definitely not a one-size-fits-all. Like I said before, a ZZ will need a lot less water than an alocasia. Plants are actually so amazing. They do talk to you through their soil and through their leaves to let you know that they need a watering or whether they are okay. Drooping leaves and very dry soil are an indication of watering most of the time. Very, very important tip is that no plant likes soggy soil. When you water your plant, ensure that you give your plant a deep watering. Get all of the soil wet and then let all of the excess water run out of the plant. Do not let your plant stand in the excess water. It will cause root rot, and this is the killer of most indoor plants. So I think the question is more, how regularly should you give your plant water, and not how much water you should give your plant. My tip is that you give your plants a proper deep watering whenever they do need water. Then, depending on what kind of plant it is, that will tell you how regularly you should water. With an alocasia, for example, which is more of a tropical plant, they will need a little bit more water. So an easy way to check that is just to check the top bit of the soil. If your finger still feels that there is a little bit of water, it's okay. If you put your finger in and it's very, very dry, then it's most definitely time for a watering. With a plant like your string of beads or your ZZ, these will need a lot less water. So when you put your finger in, it can be dry. It should be dry. It should actually almost be dry at the bottom, and then you will only water the plant. With a succulent, the soil should be almost completely dry before you water again. Whereas with a tropical plant, only the top centimeter or so should dry out, and then you can water the plant again. An easy way to check whether your plant needs watering is by doing a chopstick test. You take a chopstick, press it into the plant, right to the bottom, and pull it out. If the chopstick comes out completely clean, then the soil have dried out completely and you can most definitely water. If the chopstick comes out with some soil attached to it, depending again on the plant that it is, this will give you an idea of whether you should water the plant or not. Remember that watering is also seasonal. In the summer, our plants will need more water than in winter times. In summer, the air is dry and it's hot, so the water out of the ground evaporates a lot quicker. In winter, this doesn't happen, so you will most definitely adjust your watering regime during the winter times. Now that you've decided what the best type of water is to give your plant, you can decide how to water your plant. Basically, you have 2, maybe 3 options on how to do this. The first one is top watering. You've also got bottom watering, and then you've got various watering devices that you can use in order to assist you to water your plants. For top watering, you will need a watering can with a long spout. Make sure that the water that comes out of the spout does not displace the soil of the plant. You will water the plant all over until the water runs down at the bottom. If the water runs out too quickly, it could mean that your soil is not taking up enough water and you may have to re-water your plant again. Bottom watering is where you place your plant in a saucer and water the plant from the bottom. This enables the plant's roots to draw up water from the bottom and have a drink until it's had enough. In some cases, you may have to fill up the saucer to ensure that the plant gets enough water. It had enough when you touch the top part of the soil and you can just feel the water coming through. Then it's A for away and it's good to go. A good idea is to vary between top watering and bottom watering. This way, your plant is satisfied from top to bottom. Aerate your soil every now and then as well. Remember that your houseplants do not have earthworms or any other kind of insects living in it. So taking a chopstick and just wiggling it about a little bit ensures that there's some air in the soil, which makes it easier for the soil to take up more water. Another good idea is to add nutrients to the water when you water your plants. You can use any good balanced plant feed and add it to the water when you water your plants. I usually take the indication on the bottle and half that. So if it says 5 ml to 1 liter, I usually use 2.5 ml to 1 liter. Make sure that the nutrients that you put into the water is suitable for the plant that you give it to. By placing your plants with the same watering requirements together, it makes it a lot easier to water. Keeping your succulents together and your alocasias together, or your tropical plants, whichever the case may be, really does make it a lot easier to give them the right amount of water. Getting to know your plants is the best way to find out what they actually need. So don't just check in on them on watering day. Have a chat with them every day. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. You can also like and share it, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Visit our website or leave any comments below.